I remember going to my first Def Jam party. I wasn't invited. It was Wes going and he brought me. And I had some like little skinny ass chains on. It was my homeboy shit. And I remember like, but I was buzzing a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I met Fab and Jim Jones. This was my first time meeting them. And I'm telling them like, I thought I was somebody. I'm like, yo, I'm Benny the Butcher and shit like that. They just looking at me like, who's this? Who the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I remember, I'll never forget them looks on them boys' faces. Those are homies now.
Right.
But they probably don't even remember that. Styles P, his birthday is a day after mine. I met that 7 times before he remember who I was. You know what I'm saying? And that 7th time, I seen him in the room, I'm like, I'm not even speaking to this. He don't know who I am. Then I sat down, he called my name, like, yo, Benny. I'm like, oh, you know who I am now. You know what I'm saying? So for real, man, stay in these people's face, no matter what you could do, and climb that ladder, brother. And we coming out to holler at the people, man. You know what I'm saying? Coming out to give some game, share the game that we got on our level. You know what I'm saying? We ain't learned this shit from a textbook or from white man's college, man. We learned this shit coming up the way we came up from our brothers and from the people we seen do it. You know what I'm saying? And us doing it ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So come and share the game with the people.
That's I'm just grateful for having all my beloved brothers here. You know what I'm saying? The ones you see out here, man, very important people. You know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, we're gonna keep the things going, but we also here to keep the main focus. You know what I'm saying? Speaking about business, mental health, entrepreneurship. You know what I'm saying? Just collectively unifying with each other, you know what I'm saying? From the streets, politics, entertainment, but this is what we got going on. I am DDP, bully season, and these are my brothers, they bullying their way to the top. Yeah.
Y'all make some noise right now for Benny the motherfucking Butcher!
You know, I feel like we're gonna cover some things that people want to know and it's gonna be effective. You know what I mean?
That's a fact. What made you decide to say yes before we get into this when DDP put this together? Because this is one thing, we do a lot of things with rappers, do a lot of things with artists. How generous you are, brother, with your time, whether it was a Zoom discussion, how organic y'all relationship is a testament to who Diamond is, but also a testament to who you are. So what made you say yes and what intrigued you about pulling up today?
Man, just like you said though, I fuck with this kid right here, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just one call away for him, you know what I'm saying? He one of them people in the game that he proved himself to me, you know what I'm saying? Outside of the business, you know what I'm saying? We connect on that level. So whatever bro need me for, you know what I'm saying? I pulled up for him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Make some noise for that, man. That's solid. That's solid. We gonna jump right in it, man. Like I say, this conversation is about the business of music and how you've been able to build what you built. You know, we see the success, and a lot of people replicate the end goal, but don't know the step-by-step process of what that actually looks like. But I want to start with the origins. You know, coming from a city like Buffalo, what is Buffalo like? What was your upbringing like? And what did jumping off the porch, so to speak, mean for you?
You know, Buffalo is like a blue-collar city. It's on the Rust Belt, Detroit, Cleveland. A lot of people associate Buffalo with New York. You know what I'm saying? It's Buffalo, New York. But it's really on the Rust Belt. We a little bit Midwestern. You feel what I'm saying? And, you know, hard upbringing. But everything was cool as a child, but a hard upbringing, man. I come from a hard-working family. I come from the 80s, 90s era where you had to be who you say you were. You know what I'm saying? You had to have a craft to be nice at something. And I feel like that era groomed me to who I was, man. And Buffalo's one of those cities you gotta know some people from there and be there a couple times to appreciate it. You know what I'm saying?
You talked about Buffalo being associated with New York, but what is that tension like with? Because even in Chicago, what's the first person you ask somebody when they're from Chicago and you bump into them? What high school you went to? Where you from? All of that.
No, I be seeing y'all play the politics.
It's a politics.
You know what I mean? But like, no, he ain't from here. He went to this school.
Exactly.
I be seeing that, and we go.
Is it like that with y'all?
Is it? Is it? We ain't from none of the boroughs.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people in New York, they believe after Manhattan, you know, they give people from Yonkers a hard time.
Don't even, let alone Riverdale.
Exactly. So, you know what I mean? It's just upstate New York. It's a different place. It's a different feel. It breeds a type of different individual, all the way from Spring Valley to Albany to Utica to Rochester. It's a different place. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We share a lot of things in common with the boroughs, but we got our own identity for sure.
The one moment, and it's gonna be, I promise, it's the only slightly messy question I'm gonna ask of this whole joint. All right? When I saw that kind of play out, this what might be like local politics attention, is I remember Griselda was on Flex. and Funk Flex, Conway was going bananas, and Flex just wasn't giving the energy.
The year I'm having extravagant, isn't it? They heard my last and now they have to revisit all my classics and listen. No other rapper been half as consistent. Now they mad in the distance cause they was lacking the vision.
And I've always wanted to ask, were fans reading into that wrong? I don't know if y'all know this freestyle, but Conway was freestyling on Flex. Was you there that day?
Yes, I was.
Yes, it was you as well. It was the whole group that was freestyling on Flex. And when I tell you, they doing what they do best. And Flex was just not, he didn't drop any bombs. He wasn't making faceless. It wasn't Flex. I said, yo, what is this energy?
Man, I learned a lesson that day. You know, we was signed to Shady Records, Eminem. You got to think, you know, 50, Dre, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, not for nothing. We came in the game like that. We of that lineage. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't signed to Rock Nation yet. None of us was, but we was being courted by Rock Nation and other labels. So we was on top of the world at that time. You know what I'm saying? And had all the confidence in the world. And I learned the lesson that day. You know what I mean? That didn't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? That didn't mean shit, really. That's what I wanted to say. It didn't mean nothing. And I'm like, you know, a person like Flex, who almost got a responsibility to push the hot music and give guys like us opportunity, he didn't care. And if we was from one of the boroughs, man, it wouldn't have went like that. So I understood that night, you know what I mean?
So what did you take from that lesson that allows you to push through the next time you guys might end up being underestimated?
Man, we gotta make it so where they can't underestimate it, where they can't doubt us, where there's nothing to say. We gotta leave nothing on the table, and that's what we did. Because they didn't look at us funny, they looked at Flex funny. You know what I'm saying? So it was on him, you know what I mean?
I didn't even think about it from that aspect. When you so official, when the talent is so obvious, even the gatekeeper gotta bust it open.
100%, and they don't like to do that, man. It's a lot of gatekeeping in this game, man. That's why conversations like this is important. You know what I'm saying? When we figure out we don't need nobody, how we can do this thing ourselves.
Well, let's get into the specifics though. How did you guys break through gatekeeping? You coming from a city like Buffalo, and your sound isn't chasing radio, isn't chasing the popular sound. Talk about those early mixtape days and how you began to build your buzz even before you end up getting invited to a Hot 97 or a Shady Records deal.
See, with me, I never had the most money. I never had the most nothing. I always had to work harder than everybody. So it was a lot of artists from Buffalo who was doing whatever they was doing, getting money, made a name for themselves, but I was working harder than everybody. I had a studio, and that really changed my life. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people, y'all know we from the streets, man. A lot of people call me, oh, he's the rapper guy. Man, you ain't no street nigga, you a rapper. You know what I'm saying? I guess you're right. You feel what I'm saying? They try to clown me for that back in the day. You know what I mean? So it's like, but just working hard, staying in the studio and having a passion. When I see a lot of brothers out here and they not doing nothing, they just following, you know what I'm saying, and just in oblivion, I be like, man, that brother don't got no passion for nothing, man. Or he got negative passions. So I'm blessed to have had a passion for something, you know what I'm saying? It could have been sewing or anything, whatever it was, just to keep me out the way and keep me off the streets and working towards something, you know what I'm saying? Having a goal to work towards, and a lot of these brothers don't, you know what I'm saying? So, man, the passion, man, putting mixtape out after mixtape, being relentless, you know what I mean? Like DJ Shay, man, he's like our DJ Screw, our DJ, he's like Dre to us in our city.
Gotcha.
You know, he passed away, that was my mentor. But when he first got a window who I was, he was like, okay, you know what I'm saying, you nice, come to the studio, but I've been to who he was. I bought his CD before. I've been to a couple of his shows before. So things like that, man, I'm just knowing the players, all of the politics and the red tape, you know what I'm saying, I don't get into that, you know what I mean? There's plenty of times where I'm like, yo, we gonna go to this artist show. Before we popped off, you know, the homies like, man, we don't fuck with them. I'm like, man, we going to the show, man, you know what I'm saying? We going to network. So it's like, you gotta get out that mindset. And that's another thing we have a big problem with. We just be stuck in a mindset that people can't put it down, and it, you know, it hinders people from getting that money or opening doors.
Talk to me about those mixtape days. You said you didn't have much, you didn't have money, you just had the passion, and you weren't engaged in the politics, but it takes money to build a buzz. How did you fight through that? And then what did it look like to eventually touch money that you could use to invest in yourself? Walk us through that process.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? And this is what I love telling people. When you're an artist on the come up, you know what I'm saying? I have a responsibility to, you know, my people not going to fund my career just because I said I'm a rapper. You know what I'm saying? I had to show them, you know, I'm serious about this and I got a talent to it. So when I didn't have no money and I believed in myself, I got my homies to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Whether if it was, I ain't talk about nothing that was like $30,000 at that time, it might have been $300. Y'all remember back in the day, it might have been $30. I might need somebody to give me $30 to to get the little blank pack of CDs. What's those was called? The little blank
CD
pack.
burn, the blanks, so you can burn it.
You might tell them
Memorex.
like, yo, yeah, the Memorex joint. Tell somebody like, yo, man, let's go get the CDs, or we can go to Kinko's and get this. And they like, man, all right, man, you know what I'm saying? And starting from there, you know what I mean? Having a passion and really starting from there, and people watching me like, you know, bruh, serious about this.
Exactly.
Making my people around me believe I was serious. So when it came to ask somebody for a large amount of money, I asked them like, yo, we need this, so go half with me on that, you know what I'm saying? And they understood like, man, maybe nigga probably didn't even have it to do it or didn't even want to do it, but they like, you know what, bro, onto something. You know what I'm saying? Bro might be onto something, so.
Just because of how consistent you were.
How consistent I was, I made my people believe in me. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say, man. I made my people believe in me. People hit me all the time. I got friends who hit me all the time, like, yo, Butch, I got this feature. I mean, I got the song. We should do a feature. I'm like, bro, you're not gonna start your rap career with a feature for me. You know what I'm saying? Go do something else. I'm saying there's other things you can do before you come to me. You don't even got a song yet. If people come to me and they trying to do music and I go to their page. You know how these female rappers are. You know, I go to their page, and they say they rappers, and they got nothing but bikini shots and all of that. And you know, that's nothing. I go to these rappers' pages, and they just showing money and everything. Like, you're not a rapper.
You're not a rapper.
You're not trying to be a rapper. So I made my people believe me, and it took a lot. I mean, because for a time, I was stuck going in and out of prison. You know, people looked at me for a time like, you know, he fucking up. So I had to earn that trust and their belief in me time and time again.
I want to get back into those prison years for a moment, but I don't want to skip past something you said that was crucial. How important it is to build momentum so that you can meet the moment, right? Like, I'm even thinking about when you guys met Jay. If you didn't have momentum, meeting Jay at the wrong time wouldn't even be a blessing. It wouldn't even be a burden. What does it mean to show up for the moment, right? Like, what were some opportunities that came your way that you had to prepare yourself for before you got there? And then how do you keep that momentum going?
It's like, because it's not sports. It's like in the music game. Like I said, I'm 41. You know what I'm saying? I didn't sign a major record deal till I was like, what? It was a few years ago, Def Jam, but I was 38 years old, 30, 39, 38. So it's like I'm a late bloomer in this business. So it's like people seeing Griselda do their thing in the early years. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they didn't believe it. So Wes, this is what it was, man. Wes is a genius, man. You know what I'm saying? Just following Westside Gunn shit, like I said, and building a team and having a team around us. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? It's just you just really making me think about this shit. Cause like I said, I'm 41. I'm saying I got in this game very, very, very late. So me thinking, it's times that I had to have that conversation to myself in the mirror, like, yo, you nigga, you never gonna get a record deal. You know what I'm saying? It was times I was coming home and my baby mama, my wife at the time, telling me like, you know, when you come home, it's either the studio or us. And I'm thinking in my head like, yeah, this bitch crazy. You know what I'm saying? But she's serious. You serious, and I need to get parole to the house, so I can't tell her what's going on. But all of those mixtapes, them times that I was having a conversation for myself, and all of those mixtapes I was doing, when I went to Sway in the morning, right? And I rap. The first time I rap, I always tell the story. I tell Wes and Conway, they going on there, and I say, Wes, yo, make sure y'all give me a shout out. He said, a shout out? Nigga, you about to come up there. So I rapped for 6 minutes in a row. Those was old raps. So basically all the music that I'm putting out thinking that nobody hearing it and everything like that, it got millions of views when it was time. You know what I'm saying? When I go out of town, when I go to Greece and I did a show in Africa, did a show in just everywhere, Italy, like some of these songs I wrote on a couch in the projects. You know what I'm saying? So, man, you never know when that door is gonna open. You gotta be ready. And it's gonna feel like it's never gonna open. It's gonna feel like it's never open. So I feel like those, for your question, I feel like all them 100 shots in the gym that nobody was seeing, nobody in the gym with me, I'm just shooting the shots, that was prepared me, you know what I'm saying? Never know. You know what T.I. asked me? He said, y'all niggas from Buffalo. What made y'all keep going? Y'all niggas had no signs that it was gonna happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I couldn't answer that. And that's why I always go back to the passion. It was the love I had for it. Now it's a hustle, if you ask me. Everybody want to get in the game to get money. But me, it's a passion, you know what I'm saying? All of these shows and shit and features, I was doing this shit for free. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, the passion important, but You know what I mean? Just the grind and just the love for putting out these mixtapes, taking them to the stores. You know what I'm saying? People selling them. You know how many people turned me down? It was, people. This was a famous shit people used to say. It was like, yo, we don't listen to Buffalo music. Like people would tell me that.
And this is people in Buffalo.
I'm outside the gas station because I'm one of them niggas. Y'all know them annoying niggas outside the gas station. Butch was one of those guys, man. I got my mixtape outside of the gas station. People telling me like, yo, I don't listen to Buffalo music. Like, damn, they don't even care. Oh, you from here? You from where I'm from? I don't even want to hear that shit. So I had to work through all of that.
What did you do to pull yourself out of those moments when you like, this ain't gonna work? I'm late 30s. I'm seeing like what? How did you dig deep to find that? Because your generation of MCs kind of reinvigorated. I believe. I don't know if they'll admit it, but I think y'all reinvigorated a lot of the OGs that start rapping again. You know what I'm saying? Like, and dropping classics, Grammy nominated classics.
I think so too.
Yeah, I totally believe that, and I think that a lot of people put an age on it because hip hop is so young. How many times y'all heard, yo, you 40 years old with a mixtape, you 38 with a mixtape, you know, and then you see people getting on.
Right.
I'm 36. I still need shit to listen to, right? So I want people talking how I want to talk. So to that point, how did you push yourself through when it didn't look like anything was gonna happen? Like, I know you mentioned the passion, but then like when your wife is bugging, when the bills need to get paid, what did you do to push through that?
I was taking any slither of success as motivation to keep going. You know what I'm saying? If like, cause like I said, I didn't get on in the game until I was like 32. But in Buffalo, I've been like a local celebrity or what have you since I was 19, 20 years old. I put a classic mixtape out, 10 to Talk 2. You feel what I'm saying? And it went everywhere. We was doing mixtapes with, we did a mixtape with K-Slay. We was doing mixtapes with DJs and for our region that was big. So any slither of success, it was times where I wasn't rapping. I call myself, you know, hustling. I'm standing on the corner, you know what I'm saying? And people walking up to me, you know, they copping from me at the same time. It's like, man, you don't rap no more, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know what? He asked me, do I rap? And for that saying, I ain't with that girl no more, obviously. Who told me it was rap or her? It was rap. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. So, but even when I did come home and I was with her, we'd be at Kmart or whatever somewhere, because it was Kmart back then. You know what I'm saying? We was anywhere and somebody take a picture with me, because I always had fans, you know what I'm saying? The kids that see me, I would tell her like, look, you talking about stop rapping, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're crazy. Yes. You know what I mean? And so just any slither of success, I use it as motivation to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Anything.
That's hard. I'm gonna get into the label deal real quick, but along these lines, there was a viral quote that you had on a show that you was on. You said the first sign that shit is going right is when shit is fucked up. And when I tell you I watched that clip and damn, they got emotional, because before I ended up at MTV, I had applied to every news station in Chicago. No. It was one of those moments where, and I was still at WGN and WVON, but I knew, like, yo, I wanted to give up.
Yeah.
And then that moment meant that if I would have signed a contract with anything local, I wouldn't have had the bandwidth to go get that next opportunity. Right. So when you said like rock bottom means that you're doing, what did you mean by that? If you could expound on it a little more.
I believe a lot of times the burial come before the blessing, because a lot of times, you know, a hard-headed nigga like me, I don't learn until something is making me learn. You know, everything relate back to hustling to me. You know what I'm saying? I always hustle better when I was broke. You know what I'm saying? When I need to run up them first few thousand, I always did that better. But after I get comfortable, I'm chilling and everything like that. So I think a lot of us got to be in dire situations for us to be like, yo, you know what? I'm not about to keep doing this. To motivate ourselves, to pull ourselves, whatever we're going through. So, you know, the burial come before the blessing. Like, you got to see yourself at rock bottom. You have to feel that. You know what I'm saying? People have to tell you no. You have to hear all of those no's first for you to be like, yo, you know what? I'm about to show them. To give you that sense. I think a lot of us are motivated by that. You know what I'm saying? It's a mind thing, because we could just really go do it. But I think falling on your bottom, man, falling on your back, I think that does something to us, man. I think that does something to people where we from, and they encourage us to go get everything. You know what I'm saying?
I love that. I love it. Make some noise for that, man, because I know we've been there. We've all been in those moments. When did you, Wes, and Conway begin to fully lock in and say, all right, we're going to do this together, we're better as a collective? Because it's not quite a group, it's more of a collective. but y'all come together, y'all are so powerful when y'all together. When did y'all decide to make that the focal point to drive y'all forward?
Okay, so we always been doing this. The position you see Wes play, he always played that position. Conway always played his position, and I always played this position. Them boys always was the curators putting it together, and I was always the one like, what we doing? Point me in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? So I remember like when I was in 6th grade, man, we was called the Forerunners. You know what I'm saying? And Wes was doing clothing too. He used to have the headbands, he used to have the little shirts. So he always was a curator. Conway, he was always rapping crazy. And I remember hearing them boys, like a little demo, whatever it was. They had a few songs on the Memorex CD. And I'm like, damn, they ain't invite me to that. I didn't get a chance to that because I was younger. But it was always a thing. But as far as the Griselda movement, how that started, now, I know I was in prison. And Wes was too. He ended up getting out, going to Alabama, Atlanta, and I ended up going back to New York. Conway got shot. You know what I'm saying? All of these things happened at the same time. I'm getting out, Wes getting out, Conway shot. And I remember being in the studio and Conway coming back to the studio after months trying to rhyme and shit. And I remember it's a different room in the studio. I remember like going in the other room up front because I know he don't feel comfortable because his shit fucked up. So around that time, he got it together. It took him a few months, but he got it together. He was back in tip-top shape. Wes was home now, you know what I'm saying? Back getting some money, doing whatever he doing. And I was home for a minute too, back rapping, rocking with Spesh. And then so I think Wes came, he was doing a Griselda clothing. Griselda Records, it wasn't even a label, it was a real clothing line. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yo, man, let's get back on this rap shit. And then he was sending me stuff, and I was going to the studio recording the records, and then I would look online and people be bigging me up for the records, and I'm like, where the fuck is these records going? You know what I'm saying? And Buzz was really learning the game. Like I said, he came from that dire situation. He came back with a lot of information and knowledge. He was doing the clothing. He was doing the music, and not only doing the music, the music was being aimed in the right place. Like I said, we was doing mixtapes for years, and it wasn't aimed in the right place. Right. You know what I'm saying? So he was aiming the music in the right place, and everything snowballed from that moment. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Everything snowballed from maybe about 2014. You know what I'm saying? From West, like learning the players of the game, knowing who's who. That's important in this shit.
Well, I want to get into that next, the mechanics of how you know what to do and who to play and what you learn from West. But before I get there, even as you're talking about aiming in the right direction, what does that mean musically, right? Like there are mad artists in the room, a lot of artists that I listen to, and I'm even thinking about the touch points. Like, how did I first come across that record? It might have been an On the Radar freestyle, it might have been a station. It was just the right people put in a position. What does aiming that look like to you, aiming in the right place?
For music, if you're an artist and you put music out, aiming in the right direction is you like me. It was a guy who was putting music up on his YouTube platform, and I was just sending my music to his platform because he had the followers, he had the people listening. So that's what we do. We find our audience, you know what I'm saying? And you find your audience by check out artists who like you. You might want to do a feature with an artist because you got the money to do whatever. No, you need to find somebody who make the same kind of music as you, and the fans that take to your music. So like aim for the right audience, aim for the right platform. Like there's certain platforms that's not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say it because I like the platform, so I don't want to make it seem like I'm dissing them. But honestly, my boy hit me other day to put some music on his platform, to drop it on his page, and I'm like, and this page got way more followers than mine. But I'm like, I don't like your audience. You know what I'm saying? I don't like your audience. Because you got spectators and you got fans. You know what I'm saying? Some people get on there and watch Charleston White. I don't, you know what I mean? You know, he a funny guy, but I don't believe, you know what I'm saying, he got fans. I believe he just got people like, yo, what he about to say?
Just watch spectators.
You know what I'm saying? So you want to go where people, where they like the music, where they just not wanting something to say or say something negative like, oh, who is this? Right. You wanna go to them pages where they like, oh man, who is this artist? I never heard of him. Fire emojis. You're like, okay, this the open, receptive audience. So you gotta find those, and literally how I find those is searching down YouTube, like going the hard way. If I see a new artist's music, I used to go to the page and see where he dropped it on. He dropped this on his page or whatever. Or I go to see what else page. Like if it was a music page, I'm checking the page out. I'm emailing the guys. I'm saying, even getting my artist features. You know, my artists want features. They're like, yo, we want to feature with such and such. That won't do nothing for you. So I'm finding guys in their lane who still moving, and it relates to something. So the research, man, the hard work. I mean, you know how much a lot of people lead with their money, but man, hard work could substitute for that money, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times hard work could substitute for that money. You don't got to reach in your pocket all the time if you're ready to get your hands dirty. You know what I'm saying? And that's real.
What are some of the main things that you learned from Wes as a businessman that you helped apply to what you built with BSF?
Consistency. Build a team. You have to have a team, and everybody got to be responsible because BSF is not mine. It's all of ours. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when the money come in, I'm not the only person to get the money. So we all play a part of this. You know, a lot of people get around this rap thing and they play that homeboy shit. You know, that don't cut it. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody plays a position and everybody's responsible for something. So I watch Wes and his team. I watch him build quality up. I watch him do the branding. Like I said, it's a label now. It started off a clothing line. I seen him do the branding. That was so important. The personal style you got. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, people always make fun of my sideburns and everything like this, but I would never cut them because this is my look. I own a look. And I'm just a nigga from Eastside Buffalo. I never owned a look. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I own this look. I feel like all of those things play a part into your legacy and how people see you. So your branding, if it's the way you talk, the way you walk, how you dress, those things are important. You know what I'm saying? The quality of your music, the quality of the beats, the clothing, all of those things. So the branding, man, out of everything, I would say branding is so important.
Speaking of branding, one of the reasons that I feel Progeny Global brought you here when we talk about real estate is sometimes it's not just about the service you provide or the business that you in, but how you package it. There's a real estate agent in here too as well. And I think that people were able to receive y'all art because of how it was packaged and curated. Even the merch, like I got some Westside Gunn pieces. My boy Lenny got the BSF jacket on right now.
Right.
But it's a jacket, all of the content are things that you would cop, whether they were fans of you or not.
Exactly.
Just because it's fire. Talk about how important packaging and framing your message and your service in the right context, how important that is to the success of a business.
Man, that goes back to like finding your audience. Now, once you find your audience, you have to learn them. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn them. You just can't, if you're selling merch or you're doing music, you just can't slap a logo on a t-shirt, say, hey, y'all go. You know what I'm saying? Look at this brother, it's a fly brother right here. You know what I'm saying? If you want to buy some Westside Gunn merch, you're not doing it as a favor. It match your aesthetic.
Right.
I tell people that all the time. When these artists, they be like, yo, man, you're not supporting buying my tape. When I go, you know, I love Frosted Flakes. This is my favorite cereal. I don't buy them because I'm trying to do Tony the Tiger a favor. You know what I'm saying? I love the cereal. You know what I'm saying? So to earn money, you got to give me something that I'm spending my money, brother. You know what I'm saying? It's not a favor. So it's like once you learn your audience, what kind of quality they like, what kind of music they like, what kind of food they like, whatever you into, you have to cater to that. You know what I'm saying? Because they the ones supporting you. You kind of got to give them what they want. You know what I'm saying? And let them almost call the shots. Because they the consumers. Right. You know what they say, the consumer is always right, the customer is always right. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's a lot of truth in that. So you got to know your audience, man. A lot of artists and people, they shoot all over the place. That's why it don't land. Right. It might sound nice, but where's it landing? What is that doing for your legacy? What is that doing for your brand? You feel what I'm saying? So know your audience and find out what they like and how you scale and everything. And I feel like that'll come in handy.
You know, you talked a little bit about not playing the politics, but then there's an element of networking to get where you need to go, of course. And you try to find like-minded individuals from the same background. Talk to me about one of the most, I guess, unlikely places where you met somebody that helped transform your career.
Oh, man. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Speak on, Lil. If you're familiar with Benny the Butcher, you know what kind of music we do, street hardcore music. And you know, I'm working on a album with Jermaine Dupri. You know what I'm saying? We cooking up. Okay. So in the midst of that, it caused me to be in different spaces. So I just say, I like to say, you said, what position have I been in? Now, I guess when working on the album, I guess, you know, I'm with the social deaf guys. I'm social deaf now. And I was just at a party the other night. There's B2K in there. You know what I'm saying? There's Trey Songz in there. There's Jagged Edge in there. You know, I'm around like things that different kind of music. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm out of my comfort zone, I see it's gonna lead to something great with me and Jermaine. Right. You know what I'm saying? So those type of things. Even more practical, If you familiar with the Griselda music, I didn't like always rapping over those beats. I like to rap
I've
over
heard
trap
you say that
beats.
before. You didn't like the damn just sound.
Yeah, I made trap music. Conway made trap music. You know, Wes can't, like I said, Wes, he knowing his formula, knowing the fans, and know everything. Like, Buzz, I'm telling you, Buzz. These beats, Buzz, I'm telling you, Buzz. He had to dry that in my head, you know what I'm saying? It was I'm pretty sure it was times before he officially signed me, he would probably was like, man, Buzz ain't ready. Buzz still want to trap rap. You know what I'm saying? I had to make a conscious decision. Okay, am I chasing what these guys chasing, or is we building our own legacy, rapping over our kind of beats, what they gonna know us for? You know what I'm saying? If I'm doing any other beats, they gonna say you sound like this, you sound like that, you sound like this. Griselda has its own sound, so Westside Gunn, knowing the audience and knowing what they want and knowing how to cater to them, man, that played a big part in it. And I didn't always want to rap over those beats, so I had to compromise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm also hearing something else with regard to branding and setting your own tone. It takes wisdom to know when to listen to somebody and when not to follow a trend and identify your sound in your particular lane. How long did it take you to get into a place where you could even create and own that sound? You get what I'm saying? Because and it makes sense, because when I hear you on a song with 2 Chainz, or when I hear you on Plug Talk, or when I hear you on a record with Wayne, even though that was still like a underground beat, you were still in the trap pocket a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But you made the other sound your own as well. Did it take a lot for you to get there creatively, or what?
It took some belief. It took some belief. It took some of me getting comfortable, believing in it, believing in Derringer and believing Wes. I swear to God, I never said this ever. I never said this ever. Wes gonna see this like, damn, nigga. It was some of them beats, and we working on 10 to Talk 3. If you're familiar with 10 to Talk 3, is a holy grail of Griselda. That's my first.
That was my
Griselda.
introduction to you, by the way.
He was playing some beats. Some beats sounded so weird to me. I'm like, is Buzz trying to sabotage my album? Like, what the fuck is these beats? I'm like, what is he doing? Is he playing with me? For real, I went in the studio a lot of nights scratching my head like, I'm gonna see. And classic, everybody tell me like, man, that's your best work. That's your best work. And what I learned from that is I have to challenge myself. We've been doing this for so long, it comes so easy, you have to challenge yourself. So Wes knew the audience better than I did, obviously. And he was catering to them, and he knew what they wanted, and I believed him, and it changed my life.
You know, I gotta ask this then, for the 10 to Talk 3 fans, what were some beats, specific records that you heard and was like,
I'm embarrassed to say, because it's some of people's favorite shit off there. Definitely everything relate back to drug dealing. You know what I'm saying? My DJ every show, like, yo, you performing this record? I'm like, I'm not performing that record. You know what I'm saying? I still can't catch that beat. I still can't catch that beat. But definitely that one, the one with all 70 is so slow, Conway on there. But there's a few beats on there. I can't remember the names of the songs. I was just thinking like, man, what is this? I remember the first time I played it for Spesh. I got in the car with Spesh, and we was riding from Rochester to New York to go shoot the video with Kiss and Styles for Driver's Seat. And then we in the car, he like, play the record. He know I got the album ready, it's not out yet. He like, yo, play the album. You ain't playing the album. And I'm like, damn, I ain't want to play it. I played it for Spesh. He was like, yo, that's some of your best shit. He like, damn, when that's dropping. So I'm like, damn, people really like me on these beats like that. So
that's hard.
I had to trust Wes, man.
That's tough, man. The first record I actually heard from you was 97 Hove. It popped up on a title playlist. And then I went down the rabbit hole. Y'all mess with 97 Hove? I know I ain't the only, that's one of my favorite joints, Statin' Crowns for Kings. I told you that last time.
I always tell this story about 97 Hove, man, is that, I'm writing these songs. I don't think Jay-Z gonna hear these songs. I'm just writing these records. 97 Hove, so, you know what I mean? Like, sometime when Hove would text me, he'd be like, what's up, 97 Hove? I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, damn, I ain't expect for Big Homie to hear that record. You know what I'm saying?
I'm hearing a lot of seeds that were planted. Like, a lot of the work that you do, you never know when it's going to become relevant.
You never know where this music going to go. You never know where this, I never thought. You know what I'm saying? And I was locked up with Emery. You know what I'm saying? Hove's man. And we about to do some clothing together. We about to do a collab with Planes, you know what I'm saying? So, that's a dope, like, full circle moment, you know what I mean?
That's actually what I was getting at when I said, what's the most unlikely place you met somebody that pushed you forward. I was thinking about Emery.
Yep.
Tell me what it was like meeting him, especially y'all being locked up together. Did y'all build a relationship while y'all were in there? How did that parlay into a business relationship that lasted several years later?
Man, when I met Emery, I was at the end, I was in Ashland, I was in a camp. a federal camp, and he was in there. He had low time, and I was on my way home, and he wasn't talking to us. We was doing all kind of stuff in that prison. We was leaving, bringing phones back, so he would come nowhere near us. But I worked in the kitchen, so I served the food. But every time he come through the kitchen, I just used to be looking at him. I was young. I was like 21. I just be looking at him like, yo, this Jay-Z's man. When he go home, like his life is set. You know what I'm saying? I used to be thinking about that. When Hov put that song out about him, he was the Let's Ride with John Legend. We were locked up together. So I would be hearing the record, thinking about him, and he come through the lunch line all scruffy and shit. I wouldn't even want to give him no rice. Like, nigga, you about to be rich, nigga. You don't need no rice, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy that Wes brought my name up to him. He was like, yeah, I know him. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it was. I kind of think that like helped my relationship over there too. You know what I'm saying? At Rock Nation.
How did the Rock Nation introduction even actually happen? When did that all, you know, I've read about it, I know we've seen interviews about it, but I don't know if I've gotten the details about how that connection actually got made.
Well, I always tell this story, you know, Wes came and got me and told me everything late. You know what I'm saying? There was times where he really had to tell me like, yo, Buzz, I'm about to sign a deal with Universal. And I'm in my head like, man, you supposed to say that 3 months ago. I would have been, you know what I'm saying? But when I first signed to Griselda, the next 3 days we flew out to California and we was having a meeting, but they was already signed to Shady, and we was having a meeting with Rock Nation, and they was saying like, yo man, we really want y'all, we want Billy too. In my head I'm thinking like, man, these boys signed already. Mm-hmm. Like Rock Nation don't know they signed, and I admired that. I'm thinking like, man, Wes really got this shit going crazy. So after they went to Shady and signed already, what Wes tried to do, he wanted to take me over there at Rock Nation. So in 2017, they went over there and played him the whole Tana Talk 3 album that everybody loved. And you know what I mean? And no email back. You know, Rock Nation told me no at first. I had to go put in the work. You know what I'm saying? I had to go put in the pain. So at first I was a little bitter. But then, like I said, I realized where I was at and what the game is. And you got to prove yourself time and time again. I tell people it's a Super Bowl every year. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter who won it, who just won it. It don't matter. As soon as the first kickoff start in the league, none of that matters. You know what I'm saying? None of that matters from last season. It's a Super Bowl every year. You got to prove yourself constantly again and again. You know what I mean?
I love that. I'm going to get into the business outside of the music, and then we're going to open it up for questions for y'all. But lastly on the music piece, did the Def Jam situation, did it meet your expectations? If so, how? And if not, how?
Man, it didn't. It didn't. And no love lost with the team from Def Jam, because I feel like, you know, they gave me what I needed to do to succeed. I don't think I'm gonna say my fans was right on that one. You know what I mean? It goes back to what I was saying. You know, my fans didn't want me to sign that Def Jam deal.
I remember they were,
you know
yeah, they were tight.
And you know, I'm admitting it now, but I go win a long time without admitting this. You know what I'm saying? Is that they didn't want that. I don't know if I wasn't in the right headspace. I like to keep things like small. You know what I'm saying? Once the room get too big and there's too many moving parts, then you got to think about your moves. I don't like that. I like to work in a closet. That's what I call it, because referring back to recording music in a closet, I still like to stay in that closet where I'm just thinking there's not too many moving parts, it's dark. But I think it was too many hands in a pot. You know, I got some good songs off of there. I still got, you know, we got the money. Right. We got the money, but I don't think it did anything, you know what I'm saying, for my legacy. And it's just that, just let you know that you don't always gotta, two steps back sometimes is 2 steps forward, you know what I'm saying? Me thinking I was signing to a major, getting a bigger check, that didn't equate to nothing, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it was my fault, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I mean, shout out to Def Jam, but if I had the opportunity, I wouldn't do that again.
When you say maybe it was your fault, what you mean, in what way?
I think, you know, maybe some records. See, this is what the fans don't understand. They were like, you know, they want me to sound grimy and hardcore all the time, you know what I mean? I've been successful for a few years. Sometimes I gotta channel my brain and go back to those times, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but that's real, you know what I'm saying? I'm not in those spaces where I could just, you know what I mean, think of them dirty hallway corners, you know what I'm saying? I might have to take a trip to Buffalo to see it, you know what I'm saying, now. I might have to be in the space to see it. So I think I needed a trip back home before I wrote that album. That's what I think, you know what I mean?
I understand that.
But it was about everybody couldn't go. I wasn't trying to go back home. You know what I'm saying? It was
That was the mindset you was
right. It was
in
about
at the
me
time.
excelling. So you know what I'm saying. I feel that was just, you know, just being. What I really wanted to do, I just really wanted to sign a major album, man. Rest in peace, DJ Shay. You know, DJ Shay, like I said, he was my mentor. And his classic, he had a classic mixtape series called Unsigned City, because we was known for nobody being signed from our city. So, you know, I really just wanted to do that. Like, man, we ain't unsigned no more, Shay. Like, we did it, you know what I'm saying? So, it was just too much going on. Nigga head was cloudy at that time.
I understand. Talk to me about what it meant to, there we go, thank you. Talk to me about what it meant to transition out of making money only from the streets or only from music. How do you make that transition, and what did those investments look like for you?
You know, that's realizing that the music is just the opportunity to do other things. It's just the door opening for you to meet new people, to new endeavors. You know what I'm saying? It's understanding that it's not getting stuck in the music, not feeling like you can't take your money and do something with it, or not feeling like you good here. You know what I'm saying? Because we, like people say, you can't do this forever. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your family. So once I got in those spaces and had those opportunities, I jumped on it. I had unsuccessful business ventures, like I did the sports agency. You know what I'm saying? We still working on that, but it didn't go how I wanted to, honestly. But once I seen opportunities like the merch, like I said, you know, and this is something I want to say about the Griselda merch. You know, West did it first, so a lot of people think that since West did it, all you got to do is follow his path. No, I really had to do it from the ground up. You know what I'm saying? And I pride myself on it. I had to learn that game. The marijuana, you know what I'm saying? We had to learn that game. You know, there's been a lot of opportunities with the marijuana, with the dispensaries and everything. Back in New York State, they gave the felons, they gave anybody who got caught with weed, they gave them first dibs on opening the dispensaries and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of guys jumped on that. You know what I'm saying? And just jumped in that head first, you know what I'm saying, and was willing to learn. Because in each business endeavor that we do, we have to learn a game.
Did you get a chance to get into real estate as well?
Yes, I did, man. You know, my daughter has her license. You know what I'm saying? She got her real estate license. So it's like, that's gonna be my partner. That's gonna be my partner. And first purchase I was like involved in making was my mom's childhood home. You know what I'm saying? When my family grew up in Alabama.
Solid, man. Put some hands together for that, man. So what does it mean to be able to purchase the home where you were once in these closets doing these records, or houses down the block that you used to hustle on, now you get to own that? What does that mean for you personally?
Man, it's all about maturing as a man, you know what I'm saying? Having financial responsibility, and willing to pass it on, you know what I'm saying? And just being responsible though, you know what I mean? Because all of this comes with new responsibility, comes with new rewards too, you know what I'm saying? But being responsible with the money and with the opportunities and with the things that you got going on, that's another little learning curve too, you know what I'm saying? Because we come from where we come from, man, you know what I'm saying? So having be in this position where you're a rapper, you could do a lot of things, but you almost gotta like police yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Maturing, you know what I mean?
I love that, man. I want to spin it out to the audience, man, and give y'all a chance to ask Benny some questions. We might need to, if Will can pass the mic out there. Are y'all enjoying the conversation so far?
Y'all can ask me whatever too. I'm an open book. Y'all can ask me whatever.
And he giving us some shit that I ain't heard in other places. Like, is this the first time talking about the Jermaine Dupri joint? Or?
That's my first time. Yep, definitely.
Oh, come on, man. Shout out to the scoops, man. That's what's up. By the way, what's the, I got you in a moment. What's the timeline on the Jermaine Dupri situation?
Honestly, I'm working on this movie. I just did a movie deal with Swirl. And I'm really focusing on that movie, but I'm recording records though.
Movie? Hey, you gonna be acting in it?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Not the lead role though, but I'm writing it, directing it. You know what I'm saying? All of that.
That's hard. That's hard. Chance together for that, man. That's solid.
Yo, something different too. It's like something different too. It's gonna be like a scary movie. You know what I mean? It ain't gonna be us. You know what I mean? Selling 1,000 bricks. It ain't gonna be New Jack City Times Scarface. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be that cliche thing. We gonna do that too, though. You know what I'm saying?
We need
but
that.
First, we want to do something different, man. We wanna try to expand the audience with a horror film and drop it around Halloween, man. The Butcher's Revenge or The Butcher Coming. I'm not sure what I'm calling one of those I'm saying, about to start shooting. I'm saying, like, next month, definitely.
That's hard. That's hard. I will spin it to. We'll start with you, man. This is my man Lenny B. Say, what up, Lenny?
What up, man?
That's what's up. What's up? What you got?
What's happening with you?
You say the burial comes before the win. What's that one specific loss that you took that catapulted you to the next level?
I'm gonna repeat the question real quick so they hear it. Benny said the burial comes before the blessing or before the win. What's that specific loss that catapulted you, that you took, or a setback that you had?
I think my last time coming home from prison, you know what I'm saying? Because in and out. You know, when you first come home, you know, they hand you, when you first come home for the first time, check. They hand you bankrolls, it's a barbecue for you, it's things like that. But after I kept going to prison, the last time I came home, you know, that's my best friend in the back right there. Been my best friend for 30 years. He always held me down and everything. But my last time I came home, he didn't even pull up on me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, everybody tired of me,
Let me put
man.
this on you, man. That's cool.
I'm like, everybody tired of me. You know what I'm saying? You know, my time was running out. The walls was closing. You know what I'm saying? I had parole to my mom's house, sleeping on a cot. So it was like, you know, and I was like about to turn 30. And I'm like, you know, I got daughters. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm a man. You know, they look at me a certain way. You know, I just felt low. And before I didn't start my process with going to get in the booth. I signed up for school. You know what I'm saying? I made my time useful. I took some psychology classes. You know what I'm saying? And until I got ready to do something else, I got a job. You know what I'm saying? I eventually went back to things that I shouldn't have, but to take my mind off it, I gave myself a work ethic. Start getting up, start working out. I feel like people could start there. If you don't got nothing going on, you could start just waking up early. You know what I'm saying? Working out, taking a walk. You know what I'm saying? Just switch your habits. So I started switching my habits. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't like where I was going. I started small, switching my habits.
I love that one. That's solid, man. Let me go right here. Let me go with my man Vinny right here. You can project it out. I'll repeat it for you.
Doing all that time, right? Like, what was one of your hardest struggles? That you wanted to be a rapper.
He said after doing that time, what was one of his hardest struggles coming home, knowing that he wanted to be a rapper? Because when you come home, that transition period, if you could talk about that, and then allow people to know like what was the hardest thing about that, especially having a dream that seemed far-fetched.
Man, the hardest thing about that was two things. First is realizing that, you know, that might never happen. You know what I'm saying? You know, think about like, yo, was my baby mother right? You know what I'm saying? And when you come to that realization, you might have to do other things. So in the meantime, that's what I was saying. I signed myself up for school. I went to community college, right? Now, like I said, I was at almost 30 at the time. I've been popular for 10 years at this point. You know what I'm saying? People know me, the hood I'm from. But sometimes I had to get on that bus. I had to get on that metro bus. You know what I'm saying? I had to humble myself, man. I had to humble myself. You know, everybody talked about me like a dog. That was the hard part for me. Is you know the neighborhoods, we care what people say. It's really learning to not give a fuck what people think about me or say about me. You know what I'm saying? Once I got into that space, it made it easier for me, you know what I'm saying? But it was hard getting to that point. Dealing with my ego, my reputation, feeling like, you know, before Benny the Butcher, my name was 2 Chain Benny, man. You know what I mean? We always had some jewelry around. We always thought we was somebody, but happened to get on that bus, man. You know what I'm saying? Happened to people look at me like that, like, you know, when I walk past, they're like, man, that's the rap dude right there, man. What are you doing? So once I got past not caring what people think, you know, that worked wonders for me.
So that was one of the main things, like losing that ego and caring what people thought about
100%.
Because I see a lot of people, because if you were the man doing a particular thing in the streets, you might revert back to doing what got you locked up just because of the shame of not being who you once was. How did you get past that? Like, what does it take to become a person who doesn't give a fuck what people think?
Man, you really got to live for yourself, because you know at that point in time I was living. I don't want to say my life was dedicated to the streets or nothing like that, but I was trying to get some money by all means. You know what I'm saying? I had things to prove to the ops. I had things to prove to people who doubted me. Once I removed myself about, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, these people don't care. You know, them same people, now that I got everything I got, them same people still hate on me. You know what I'm saying? You're never going to get to a point where they're going to say, like, you know what, man? You win, man. You that nigga. That is never going to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's never going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they never going to give it to you how you want. It's
Yeah.
your family who already love you, they gonna do it. But the people who don't love you and hate, you're never gonna win them over. So fuck what they think. You know what I'm saying? Fuck what they say. You know what I'm saying?
It's real shit, man. Script, let's go ahead next.
Yo, what up?
What's up, brother?
Man, appreciate what y'all do, man. Griselda, me and my guys, we got the same, I got a podcast. Like St. Louis. I came out to St. Louis.
Fire.
Outside St. Louis, so what y'all built really helped me motivate me in a way to rap when I'm doing music. But like, what's a thing where, like you said, you come from the streets, your music is authentic. What's something like, y'all been doing this, you've been doing this for a while, you ain't got no trouble for real. How do you keep things authentic in your music and keep that with you, but also evolve as a man?
Man, you know,
I want to repeat that just to make sure it's captured. He said, how do you keep it authentic? Because what he talks about in the music, but at the same time evolve as a man. And it's crazy because when I tell you that is right here, that question is right here. But so I'm excited to hear that. By the way, man, make some noise. My man came all the way to St. Louis just there for Vinny
fire.
today, man.
Man, really, honestly, man, this is a trick. If you're a rapper, this is a trick. You know what I'm saying? Them 2 or 3 tracks I had, you know, I rap about them same 2 or 3 tracks. You know what I mean? It sounded like I had 33 of them. It was 2 or 3 of them. I'm just telling different stories about them. It's still a bunch of stories that I haven't told. So, you know, music, it's like a movie, right? If you go see the Ali movie, you see Get Rich or Die Trying. You know, these guys are in 40s. Some of these guys, they make movies. Michael Jackson movie coming out on the 24th. How long is it? You know what I'm saying? They taking all of his best moments and compacting it in an hour. I'm talking about the baddest women I was with, the most money I got, the best car I had, and a 2-minute song. You know what I'm saying? I'm compact, and I'm gonna do it on the next track too. And I'm gonna give you a different angle. So it's about being creative, about your storytelling. You know what I'm saying? That's the hard part. It's how we gonna talk about it now. We talked about the good part, now let's talk about the bad part. You know what I'm saying? It's just giving a contrast of the game. You know what I'm saying? So just keep trying to be creative about the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Telling the same story over and over again, but different angles. You know what I mean?
I love that. We got time for 2 more questions. Want to make sure y'all get y'all hours worth. One question though, to piggyback along those lines, when you see things happening in the industry, I won't say names, there's a lot of stuff in the news with a lot of MCs who are doing what they rap about. And I remember you said a couple years ago something that I think people took out of context. You said it's a lot of nerds running the rap game. But I think a lot of fans in this culture right now look at the lives of rappers like they're looking at a sitcom, like they're looking at a movie, like a TV show. These are real lives. And we respect authenticity, but we don't want our rappers to crash out either.
Right.
As an MC and as somebody who respects the authenticity of people who are in the game, your peers, how do you think fans should be thinking about, be viewing? What do you think the culture needs to learn about what it means for rappers to be authentic while at the same time avoiding that trick bag that you talked about?
Man, I think the fans have a responsibility, you know what I'm saying, to force these people, to not force these people to crash out. It goes back to saying what me and the brother right here was talking about. Obviously, we know who we talking about. Obviously, that young brother care a lot what people think, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You see the post he made, who got more bodies than me? You know what I'm saying? He cared what people think. So he's playing into that. You know what I'm saying? So he should have lost that. We can't give a fuck what people think. And you know, if you want to make your raps real, more power to you. See, I'm blessed. Like I said, I didn't get on till I was 32. I got to do everything. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not like a 22-year-old rapper who's really, you know what I'm saying, going through my first everything. You know what I'm saying? I got to live my whole life. The prison in and out, was married and everything. And then I got to a point where when I signed my Griselda deal, I tell the story all the time. I wasn't hustling. You know what I'm saying? I was sitting at the house every day writing music. So I already got to the point where I stopped caring what people think. And I think the fans got to have some type of responsibility towards this, man, because like you said, the nerds don't care because they don't have the lost ones like we have. You know what I'm saying? They just on the computers. You see how these blog people talk about the game? You know what I'm saying? I know y'all see what Academics did with this city. He talked about it like it was a TV show, like these wasn't real lives, like it wasn't real people.
People that we know personally.
Exactly. And so, you know, these guys don't have no responsibility to these neighborhoods or to these rappers or to what's going on. And it's easy for them to talk about it and fuel the fire. You know You know what I mean? They're instigators. You know what I'm saying? So I think the fans, you know, will stop instigating. You know, I be having a little rap beef. So every time the person who I don't like, every time he do something good, the fans will be like, yo, that's why he. And I be like, man, let him enjoy his moment. He having a good moment, and the first thing you did was thought about me. Man, you some type of fan, man. Tell him congratulations, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's real.
I don't get it, man.
That's solid. That's real, man. We got time for 2 more. We're gonna go right here.
Hey, shout out to y'all for doing this. Dometi, shout out to you. You already know.
Thank you, brother.
Johnny P's Caddy, you arguably got what a lot of people say one of J. Cole's best features ever. Big Dog, Wayne. We know Wayne is one of the ones. We also know you just be giving stuff out sometimes.
100%.
But he gave you a solid feature. So what did it mean for you to see Cole and, you know, one of the goats and Wayne really respect your pen enough to come with it to make sure you got the best of them?
Thank you for that, brother, because I want people to acknowledge me and remember me for that. You put these guys in a space with me, and you're going to hear some of the best versions of them. You know what I'm saying? There's artists who done got on records with me who had to change their verse. There's artists who done got records with me, and then people told them, like, Benny about to put that out, tell him to send that back to you so you can switch your verse. And people telling me, like, yo, my homie told me you got. I'm talking about guys. You feel what I'm saying? So, and I don't look at it as, oh man, I'm this. I'm like, man, I set that arena for guys to want to bring their best, and that's the best compliment that anybody could give me. You know what I'm saying? Is I make you want to bring the best out yourself, man, and that's dope. You know what I mean? Because as an artist, every artist don't do that for me. I can count on my hand. You know what I'm saying? And I love working with those artists, and I sound my best when I'm with those artists. So, you know what I mean? I can appreciate that.
Man, and then we got one last one. I promised my man way earlier in the blue hat that I was gonna come to him next.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask, like, what did it take for you to like reach the pinnacle of like your career? Like what got you to that? Like what obstacles you had to overcome that? Like how did you brush shoulders with people in the room, like to be able to reach your first deal or something like that? You know what I'm saying?
Man, I kicked down their door. It's like high school. You know what I'm saying? It's like high school. If you see these people one time, you know, this is the industry. If they see you one time, they see a lot of people one time. They got to see you again and again and again. That's why I tell these artists, man, try to go to these functions or what's going on, whatever's going on. Try to get there. Like, that goes back to learning the players of the game. So I made sure I was in these people's face. When they first signed to Shady Records, like I said, it was like I was signed, but I wasn't signed, right? I'm gonna put this out. We had the opportunity to go up to the record label. You know what I'm saying? No Def Jam and all the labels in there. I was going down there every chance I got. I was making excuses. You know what I'm saying? Calling them like, yo, man, I'm gonna come down. I'm just in the city. I went there for that. You know what I'm saying? Just to go up there and sit in them offices, post it on my gram, to chop it up, make it seem like I was doing something. You know what I mean? I even like did that with artists who showed a liking to me. I see they performing somewhere. I'm like, yo, bro, I see you performing out here. I'm out here. I drove there just for that show. You know what I'm saying? Just to make it seem like I was working. I remember when I first was doing it, we drove like 4 hours. Shout out my dog, Uncle Murder. He had a show in Binghamton. And my homeboys couldn't believe that I was just driving to Binghamton. It was like 2015. They couldn't believe I was driving to Binghamton 3.5 hours away just to get a pic with Uncle Murder. And I wanted to show people back home, like, I'm working. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what y'all doing, because they obviously didn't know I just drove there for a pic. It looked like I was with them, we mobbing, it looked like that. And I wanted to show that, so I had to stay in these people's face no matter what it was, you know what I'm saying? I'm figuring out where they're gonna be, and I'm there, you know what I'm saying? I got my best shit on, my outfit on, and I'm acting like, oh shit, what you doing here?
Right,
you know what I'm
right,
saying? But it's all planned out. I'm you know what I mean, like, relentless, you know what I'm saying? You gotta stay in these people's face. Like Def Jam, you know, I signed a Def Jam deal. Def Jam told me no 5 times. Offered me low contracts. They did all of that, you know what I'm saying? So I just proved myself and stayed in their face. Like, y'all still watching, right? Up the money. Y'all still watching, right? Up the money. You gotta stay in these people's face and be everywhere, man.
Man, I poured out so many gems, man. Consistency, humility, relentlessness. Because what you didn't say tucked in that is sometimes getting in people's face, people gonna try to play you.
Yeah.
And you gotta roll off of it and get in their face again, and they'll forget that they ever had that interaction.
Yeah, right. Because I remember, I remember going to my first Def Jam party. I wasn't invited. It was Wes going there. He brought me, and I had some like little skinny ass chains on. It was my homeboy shit, and I remember like, but I was buzzing a little bit. You know what I'm saying? and I met Fab and Jim Jones. This is my first time meeting them. And I'm telling them, like, I thought I was somebody. I'm like, yo, I'm Benny the Butcher and shit like that. They just looking at me like, who is this? Who the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I remember, I'll never forget them looks on them boys' faces. Those are homies now.
Right.
But they probably don't even remember that. Styles P, his birthday is a day after mine. I met that nigga 7 times before he remember who I was. You know what I'm saying? And that 7th time I seen him in the room, I'm like, I'm not even speaking to this nigga, so he don't know who I am. Then I sat down, he called my name, like, yo, Benny. I'm like, oh, you know who I am now. You know what I'm saying? So for real, man, stay in these people's face no matter what you could do and climb that ladder, brother.
Yeah, I had to bring that up because from the crib, like, we all celebrities if you're from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? We got ego. We keep track of whoever played us. We think about all that shit. Moving to New York and getting in this industry, I've had those situations too. And nothing more humbling than trying to get a question on the red carpet and you're doing this. And then the next year they come running to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like to hear you go through that with people who are your peers, who arguably your if not past them lyrically, you know what I'm saying, no offense, it's humbling, it's exciting to hear, and it's inspiring, you know what I'm saying? So I just I could talk to him all day. I don't want to hog this time because I know it's a meet and greet and we also have a time we have to close out. But I just want to synthesize some of the things that we got. You know, you talked about branding, knowing what it means to package your service, your product, your business, your passion in the right package and how important that is. You talked about consistency and maintaining relevancy. You talked about being in the physical space. We come from an internet era where people don't realize being in front of Uncle Murder in the flesh is gonna make more progress than a viral clip sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You talked about learning from the people around you and knowing when to listen to the people that you trust, like when Wes changed the sound of the business. And you talked about expanding and family generational wealth with your daughter getting a real estate license and then going back home and being able to purchase that, as well as talking about knowing that the Def Jam situation wasn't right for you, but you learned from it and realized you got to go back home. Sometimes everybody can't go, but you might have to go where they want.
I might have to go.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So many more gems. Y'all don't take anything away from that. I wanted y'all to pick some of that up. If y'all could just give a round of applause to Benny for his time today. Man, thank you. Appreciate you. You want to get a last one?
Yeah, I do. Man, and I just want to say, if y'all know me, man, y'all know I'm not like a big-headed dude. You man, Chicago been instrumental in my career. Always support me. I got to tell this one last story. My first time came here, like, because I knew the fans when they loved the Griselda street music, when they knew we were street guys. I was still living in a project, so I used to go live and show people how I was living in the projects. I used to have to put the 2x4 down on my door. You know what I'm saying? Like a few months after that, we was doing a show at the House of Blues with the Locks. And I was kicking it with somebody from I mean, my boy Eugene, you know what I'm saying? Kicking my boy Eugene, and he's like, yeah, man, I'm happy y'all out here, Joe. And I'm like, man, you know, for real, from the trenches, you know what I'm saying? Sleep with the door, you know, like we still back home. He like, man, that shit ain't cool, man. You like, you don't see what you got going on. He like, man, that shit, he's like, you sitting here talking. That nigga checked me, man. And I'm like, Chicago, this is a wild place. I'll tell you about yourself out here, so hell yeah, man. So I want to thank y'all for coming out, man. I know y'all body, I know how y'all is, man. Y'all like big brothers to Buffalo and shit like that. Man, and thank y'all for having me, man. Where my boy DP at, man?
Man, make some noise for Benny the Butcher.
Thank you, brother.
Make some noise for DP for putting this together.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Thank y'all.
Nah, this was fire.
Y'all all know I represent the brand very well, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, y'all know my slogan, bully season.
Bully season.
We gotta keep bullying our way to the top. Man. Anything you do, always bully your way to the top. Don't never stop, like Beloved said. You know what I'm saying? This won't be the last. You know what I'm saying? This is the first of many. And Benny, I appreciate you, Beloved.
You, man.
Love you,
Yes,
bro.
sir. Here for the
You
second
always
two,
been
brother.
1,000.
Exactly.
Thank you for letting me be a part.
Love you, bro. I
Love you,
appreciate you. Yeah. Shout out to APG, our team, and everybody who's involved.